Today we're going to talk about how to get rid of this toenail fungus. Toenail fungus is really not a problem of the toenail. It's a systemic problem. And so if you just treat it right here in this location, you may or may not be successful long term. And one of the big problems of treating the toenail fungus with medication is if you're going to be treating it for a period of time, which is usually about 3 months, there are side effects that come along with it, like liver damage. Wouldn't it be nice to do something that didn't have any side effects? Before we get to the solution, I want to quickly just go through a couple little facts that you need to know about toenail fungus. If you look up the actual cause, it'll say your feet are too sweaty, and then you all of a sudden got this toenail fungus. A lot of people have sweaty, wet feet, and they don't get toenail fungus. This specific toenail fungus can invade the toenail, but it can also cause other skin infections, jock itch, athlete's foot, infections in your beard, infections in the skin on your legs, and even your scalp. This specific microbe lives on protein, and in your nail, it just so happens to be pure protein. One of the problems that people have treating this topically is that the cream does not penetrate deep enough in the nail to kill off the microbe. This microbe is burying itself deep inside the protein part of the nail. And there's something very unique about this microbe and how it survives. It has the ability to evade or escape your immune system defense. And there's several mechanisms that it uses. One is it grows really slowly over time, so your immune system doesn't necessarily see it. Number two, it has the ability to suppress your T cells. The other thing that it can do is it can go into a dormant state and then wait for the right moment to come out of remission. And it can stay in this dormant state for years. This microbe is uniquely resistant to UV radiation. Part of the sunlight spectrum is called ultraviolet, and that does have the ability to kill certain microbes and fungus, but not this specific microbe called T. rubrum. It can survive despite how much UV that you put on it. So you couldn't necessarily put a UV light directly on the toenail. It wouldn't work. This next part is going to give you the secret of the treatment for getting rid of this toenail fungus. Remember when I said that this microbe can go into a dormant state? That means it can be reawakened at certain times when the timing is just right. So the first question is, when is acidic? This next thing is the most important thing. The biggest activator to having this dormant microbe become alive is when your immune system gets suppressed. How does your immune system get suppressed? Stress, being a diabetic, being overweight, taking in an antibiotic, because now we killed off all the bacteria, and the bacteria are there to keep this fungus in check. So if you have an imbalance there, this is when we get an overgrowth of certain fungus. But the biggest thing that will reawaken a dormant microbe, especially a fungus, is having a vitamin D deficiency. Your immune system becomes suppressed. Vitamin D is the most important nutrient to support and allow the immune system to work. In the toenail, you have a lot of receptors for vitamin D, and these funguses have a unique strategy of downgrading the vitamin D receptors. Not only is this microbe shutting down your immune system, but it's shutting down the ability to use vitamin D. The goal is just to be able to activate your immune system army against this darn pathogen. That's all we're trying to do. And make the environment so hostile for this fungus that it just stays in a dormant state. You don't want to just take a regular amount of vitamin D3. You need to take more vitamin D, at least 25,000 international units every single day. Now, some people need to take even a little bit more. But what this is going to do, it's going to build up your immune system to the point where this fungus has no choice but to go into a dormant state. And we're doing this systemically all over because it's not really a local problem. It's a whole body problem. And I don't know if this is true because I don't have a lot of information, but if you could find liquid vitamin D and put it on your toenail topically, I'm not 100% sure if it would speed things up, but it's worth a try. Based on certain case studies and other reports of people using higher doses of vitamin D3, there's been a pretty good success at ridding this toenail fungus and doing it without side effects, because in the end, you have your immune system back. There's some other things that I'm going to recommend as well. Zinc, but not just any type of zinc. Zinc pyrithion. This form of zinc is just not talked about very often, and sometimes they put into a cream, sometimes they will put it into a certain soap, which probably would be a good idea, but it has very powerful antifungal properties. Here we have the vitamin D to help you from the inside out with the immune system, and then from the outside in, we use zinc topically. The other thing I'm going to recommend is to get some shoes that are breathable because we want to change the temperature and we want to keep the feet as dry as possible. Also, change your socks very frequently, wash them, wash the shoes so this fungus can't stay and live in your shoes. And when you use detergent, when you wash them, that detergent usually will kill off the fungus as well. Now you have a plan and a solution that won't give you additional side effects. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.